It's getting harder for younger players to find their scoring groove before they have fully developed themselves. That's why only 8 players in NBA history have ever scored 50 points in their rookie season. But being in their rookie season doesn't necessarily mean they are the youngest. Like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who scored 50 once in his rookie season but was 22 years old. While 22 is not old, the 10 youngest players to score 50 points in a single game were all under the age of 22. And in this season alone, we've witnessed 2 of those top 10 youngest players to drop 50 or more. Like in the 4th game of the year, Paolo Banchero put up his 50-point performance against the Pacers in what was almost a 50-point triple-double, where he had 12 boards and 9 assists along with his scoring total. While that is impressive, at 21 years and 351 days old, it was only enough to earn Banchero a spot as the 10th youngest player to ever reach that mark, which means there's something more impressive when looking at the top 5 youngest players to ever score 50. All of the 5 youngest were under the common adult age of 21 when they put up their 50. And now 20-year vet LeBron still holds the spot for the 2nd youngest player to ever score 50 when he was only 80 days over 20 years old. But LeBron also dropped 50 on 3 different occasions before turning 22, which inserts his name 3 times inside the top 10 youngest players to ever drop 50. So how did we get where we are now? So in 2005, LeBron became the youngest player to score 50 when he put up 56 points against Toronto, beating a record that was then held by Rick Barry at the time by nearly 2 full years of age. Then 265 days later, he became the 2nd youngest player to score 50 when he dropped 52 in Milwaukee on 65% shooting while still under 21 years old. And then just 42 days later, moving past his 21st birthday, LeBron scored 51 against Utah and is the youngest player on 3 separate occasions to score 50, a record that was kept that way for the next 4 seasons until Brandon Jennings came along in 2009. Now, Jennings is one of the rare cases of a player scoring 50 in their rookie season, and among the 10 youngest to score 50, him, Rick Barry, and Allen Iverson are the only ones that completed the task in their first year in the league. While in his rookie season, Jennings was only 28 days younger than LeBron when he scored 55 against the Warriors in his 7th career NBA game. He then became and still holds the top spot for the youngest player to score 50 in an NBA game. And among all the youngest 50-point scorers, Jennings made and attempted the fewest free throws of anyone under 22, with only 6 of his 55 points coming from the free throw line, but where he is able to rack up most of his points in the game was from behind the arc, where he connected on 87% of his shots. While the 3rd youngest player, Devin Booker, got his points the exact opposite way that Jennings did. Booker scored 24 of his points at the free throw line and attempted the most shots of any player under 22 with 40 attempts in that game. However, Booker not only surpassed 50 and 60, but scored 70 at just 20 years and 145 days old. Unlike Jennings, Booker made just 4 threes, which is the lowest among the youngest 10. Then, in 2021, the 5th youngest player came along who is perhaps the most surprising player on this list, Kevin Porter Jr., who is 4 years removed from his historical performance and is currently fighting for minutes on the Clippers roster. Porter's 50-point game came in a season in which he only played 26 games, meaning that in this game he scored more points than games played the entire season. In the short season, Porter had never crossed the 30-point mark but put up 27 of his points from behind the arc. Porter was 5 days from his 21st birthday and had only attempted at most 15 shots in a game that season. But in this game, Porter shot that number in just 3-point attempts. Which leads to Victor Wembanyama, who is the most recent and the 4th youngest player to ever score 50 points at 20 years and 314 days old. With recent talks about Wemby's defense being great but offense slacking, he quickly shut up the critics in his 12th game of the season and put up 50 on this year's 2nd overall pick, Alex Sarr. So most of these players, with the exception of Kevin Porter, appear to be generational talents and potentially even Hall of Famers. And not only did we have LeBron drop 53 times before turning 22, but also had Booker putting up 70, Kevin Porter surprising us all, and seeing 2 of the youngest players ever in just this season. Now, scoring actually seems like it could be easier in today's NBA, or did we get lucky with more generational talent at the same time? Either way, which of these players under 22 do you think was the most impressive in their 50-point game? Make sure to like and let me know which video you guys want to see next.